far away in the wilderness. But in reality, she's just killing people. Hi, hello, and good afternoon. If you are new here, then hi, I'm Helena, so welcome back to my channel. And today we're going to be doing just a little chit chat October wrap up. Only 3 of them were on the October TBR. I did not read the other 4. In all, we read 6 books total, and 3 of them are mystery thrillers, and 2 romanticies, and 1 fantasy with a literal smidge of romance, but it is mostly just fantasy. Those are our statistics. That's how many books we read in October. Okay, the first book that we read was A Flicker in the Dark. This was me and my girlfriend's buddy reads for the month. I give this a 3.5 star because I did end up guessing how it was going to end. I feel like nothing happened until like halfway through the book. Up until then, it was all like backstory, and finally, like halfway through the book, we were getting the new disappearances of the new girls. So the whole first half of the book is just backstory on what happened and a little tiny bit of character and how she's like messed up and taking drugs, basically. I did not absolutely love that book. I honestly don't know if I would recommend it just because it was so slow. I don't know, I guess I'm picky about my mystery thrillers because it was kind of a theme that the 3 mystery thrillers that I did read were not fantastic. So maybe I'm just not a mystery thriller girl. So that was the first one that we read of the month. The second book that we read in the month was One Dark Window. I absolutely loved this book. At first I gave it a 4.5 on my Goodreads, and then I bumped it up after I read Two Twisted Crowns and really thought on the whole series. I bumped it up to a 5. It was literally so good, and it's just such a unique like magic system. The vibes of this were immaculate. I absolutely loved the vibes of this book with the mist and with everything. It was just so good. And also I loved Raven, and then I liked Elm. I was definitely excited to get more of his perspective and like point of view in the second one and kind of what happens with him. It was so good, and seeing Elspeth like Wendell and giving her body to the nightmare just to save, you know, people and herself and all that, it was just so I can't stop thinking about this. And the second that the special edition hardback covers came out, I immediately ran to the store and bought them. So this is the One Dark Window special edition with the sprayed edges and everything, and it's just, oh, it's gorgeous. And they do have bonus chapters, so I did read those immediately after I bought the book because I was like, well, I have to read the special chapters that are like extra. So read that, and then this is the Two Twisted Crowns one. It's just so, it's the same sprayed edges, but it's just so freaking pretty. I can't stop staring at the special edition. And then after One Dark Window, I read That's Not My Name. I read this in 2 nights, and it was good. It was okay. I think I ended up giving it a 3 star. You get 2 perspectives in this book, and one of them is Drew, whose girlfriend stormed off in the middle of the night and then hasn't been seen since, and everyone in the town thinks that he killed her, and he's just been like nonstop searching for her, and he's just the bad guy in like everyone's eyes. And then it just switches up to his friends all of a sudden thinking that he didn't do it, and so then his friends like help him trying to like find her and see what happened, all because of like one minor thing that happened, and they're like, oh well, maybe you didn't do it. And the sheriff pissed me off. The other point of view that you get is this girl who just randomly turns up on the side of the road, and then this guy claiming to be her father shows up and is like, oh, Mary, where have you been? I've been looking all over for you. We know very early on that this is not her father. Like, things just start not adding up. We know very early on that this is not her actual father. So like, who is he? Why did he kidnap her? So Drew's girlfriend that stormed off and has never been seen since, her name's Lola. So the father's name is Wayne and her name supposedly is Mary. So I thought that Mary was actually Lola. So I thought that we were gonna get Lola's perspective. Turns out, no. I just didn't love the plot twist. I was really hoping that we would get a semi-decent ending and that Lola would come back. No. So, 3 stars. Did not absolutely love. And I'm kind of upset, so maybe I am really not a mystery thriller girl, because we have one more mystery thriller and that one also was not a fantastic one. Maybe I need a really good mystery thriller, because the ones that I have been reading haven't been fantastic and they have been pretty low rated on Goodreads. So I guess if you have a really good mystery thriller, please let me know. Please comment down below a good mystery thriller, because I feel like all the ones that I have read so far have just been okay. And then after that, I wanted to finish the Shepherd's King duology. So I did go in with Two Twisted Crowns for the next read. This was so freaking good. I didn't want it to be over with. Like I said, gave this 5 star. The series overall is a 5 star. I absolutely loved all of this. I love that they give an actual happy ending, like Elm and Ion. I don't know how to say her name, but Elm and Elspeth's best friend end up together. So that was a happy ending. The nightmares out of Elspeth. Elspeth and Raven end up together. Seeing the craziness of them trying to find the Twin Alders card, it was just such a good journey and such a good story. Everything just wrapped up perfectly in this book, and I just am obsessed with this series. Like, this was just such a good series. That was the 4th book that we read in the month. And then I went straight into, this was around Halloween time. This was like the week of Halloween or the week before. I think it was the week like before / week of Halloween. So these vibes were immaculate, and I think that literally helped 1000% with my rating on this book. So our next book that we read was Immortal Dark, and let me tell you, if you have not read this book, you freaking need to. And I was so obsessed with this book, and Susenyos, oh, I just love that man. He is like ruthless, but also still kind of, he starts to be a softie towards Kadan at the end, and then once everything happened in the ending, he's like, you heard a fucking hair on her head. Ugh, love it. Anyway, I gave this a 4.75. It was just so good. The only reason why it wasn't a 5 star is honestly, I figured where it was kind of going. I didn't necessarily know, like, obviously the Nephrazi were going to be a part of it and like what they were and obviously all that. But I figured that June, wherever she was there intentionally, like of her own will. I knew with that ending that it was going to be a series, and sure enough, the next book unfortunately does not come out until September of 2025. So I do have to wait literally so long for the next one, which does suck because this was so good and I would love to be back in this world again. But with it being out in September, it's going to be perfect timing for Halloween again, so that's going to be perfect. But I do have to wait basically a whole year to read this, so that is very unfortunate. So basically we follow Kadan, which I think that's how you say her name, but correct me if I'm wrong. We follow Kadan. Her sister goes missing. She thinks that a vampire, which is the Draeniacs, so she thinks that a Draeniac took her sister. All of the vampires are in this very secret academy that you can't get into unless you have an invitation, hence the no soul can enter without an invitation. So she tries to get into this academy, and originally she knows that she was originally part of the academy. So her aunt took her and her sister away from the university trying to save their lives after their parents died. The like dean of the school basically comes and is like, finally lets her in, because she's like, clearly we see that you're trying to get in here, so just like get in here. And also your parents and left your house to a vampire, and that has never happened. So you need to pass this course and graduate in order to obtain the house and not let your house Drainiac, take the house. And sure enough, she thinks that the vampire of her house is the one that took her sister, and she has to live with him. So it's just really good. It's enemies to kind of lovers. They have like one scene in this, maybe two. So it's not very heavy on the like romantic aspect. I have a feeling we're gonna get more of it in the second one. We're gonna get more romantic in the second one of this. But yes, overall, this was literally so good. I would love to be in this world again. Sucks that I do have to wait almost a whole year for the second one to come out. I feel like I'm dying of thirst. I am almost done talking. We have one more book. And it was the last book. I read this in 2 sittings. It was okay. I feel like it was entertaining in the way that like reality TV is kind of entertaining because of just how innately insane it is. You shouldn't have come here. I gave this a 2.5 star. That is the lowest I have rated a book probably in a very long time. This was just so insane that I don't know what I got myself into while reading this, honestly. It was 90% romance of watching these 2 people that have known each other for 2 whole days fall in love. So it's about this girl who is trying to escape her busy New York life. And she finds this random Airbnb in the middle of Wyoming. She travels all the way from New York to Wyoming in a car. She drives all the way there. So that was suspicious in itself. But anyway, so she stays at this random Airbnb in the middle of BFE. In the middle of nowhere. She has no service on her phone, no Wi-Fi. When she's touring the guy's house, one, he's gonna stay with her in the house while she's there, which I feel like that's a little weird. I don't know. I've never rented an Airbnb, but I feel like that's kind of not normal. And then he has a padlock on his basement door. If that wasn't your first red flag, other than there being no signal and no Wi-Fi, I don't know what was. She clearly stays. Stuff starts to go down. There is a missing girl. She is finding this guy kind of starting to be a little weird. He's like obsessed with her. From day one. It's really weird. Like I said, it's 90% romance and 10% mystery. And like I said, he's known her for like 2 whole days and he's like, I'm in love with you. And I'm like, dude, that's weird as fuck, actually. The only reason why it wasn't a 2-star is the ending. The ending, honestly, I was kind of expecting, but kind of not. Just the same as A Flicker in the Dark. I was kind of expecting it, kind of not. It was still kind of okay. It was just really weird and really insta-lovey. And then, like, he was very obsessed with her, but not in the good way, and, like, up her butt the whole time almost. And like she couldn't do anything by herself, and it was just like, ugh. But yeah, so again, I don't know. That was just, it was like an overall just average month because I had a couple bad ones and I had a couple really good ones. So overall, very average for the reading month. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.